This is KUGAN CASSIUS for Rifle TV in association with Macklin's in Marbella. We're in Dusseldorf here for the press conference for Klitschko Fury. With me from KSU Promotions, Tom Loeffler. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Here at the Esprit Arena in Dusseldorf, Germany. Had a great press conference today. Tyson took a little while to get him warmed up, but I think Vladimir brought his character out, and it was a interesting press conference.
I think Vladimir pushed enough buttons for Tyson to
started the therapy session, but
yeah.
No, I mean it's a tremendous fight. You know, it's probably the second guy that Vladimir's ever fought that's taller than him besides Wuk, and so, you know, when you got the height and the reach and the punching power that Tyson has, it's definitely an interesting combination.
Obviously, it's no secret about how obviously the fight was made without going to purse bids through, you know, the two camps.
I was in Panama in the WBA office, and you know, Byrne had just finalized the deal with McKennessy, so. It's always better to avoid a purse bid. You know, the sides get along a lot better. You know, all the conditions are much easier on both sides, so it's a much better cooperation in order to make a good promotion that way.
Moving away from this, I don't know if you know that Carl Froch
retired. We thought he was going to do one more fight against Triple G.
Tom, obviously, prior to retiring, probably, I don't know, maybe 10 days ago now, you know, how persistent were you on trying to push this fight forward with him and Gennady?
You know, I had good communication with Eddie. Eddie always was clear that, you know, he wasn't sure what the decision was going to be. You know, and if Carl retires, there's not much you can do. You know, it's like, you know, if he didn't retire and fought someone else, then okay, then you can start, you know, playing some, you know, verbal jabs and things like that. But you know, you got to respect Carl, what he's accomplished in his career, and if he's not going to fight again, then you can't really force him. I just thought that would have been a very compelling fight with him and Gennady. It would have been on pay-per-view in the States, you know, UK, box office. So it would have been a lot of money in that fight.
And Gennady would have been possibly willing to have travelled to the UK for that fight? Or?
Sure. Yeah. I told Eddie. I mean, financially, it probably made more sense in the States, but it would have been no problem fighting in the UK in any stadium they wanted to fight. That's the one thing about Gennady. He doesn't care where he fights. He doesn't care where or who he fights. He just needs the ring and the opponent, and he goes to work. So you got to really admire his professional attitude.
Can you just tell me exactly how difficult it is to find the right opponents for Golovkin? Because it just seems as though there's always the Cottos mentioned, and it's just, I don't know, it seems from the outside though like you're struggling to find opponents.
It's been challenging. I mean, it started with the Felix Sturm situation. Gennady was a mandatory for the WBA title for 2 years, and somehow, that was before I got involved, but Felix kept getting exceptions from the WBA, and then he got promoted to super champion, and they got another extension for his you know, mandatory due, and finally when Gil beat Sturm, that's when the WBA, I mean, there was really no more exceptions they could do, and then he became a super champion. But to try to get another champion to fight Gennady has really been tough. You know, tried to put the Chavez fight together. We had everything agreed on our side last year. Top Rank, you know, couldn't get Chavez to sign. I guess there were some other issues, you know, contract extensions, things like that. But they were putting up a huge guarantee for him to fight, and a guarantee for a comeback fight. So we had that fight fall through. You know, with Froch retiring, that fight's not possible now. And you know, his goal is to unify the middleweight division, and I think he's one of the few boxers in the sport today that has a realistic shot of getting all the major titles together.
It also has been talked about, obviously, if he was struggling to obviously find them fights at middleweight, that he would go up to super middleweight, where, you know, it could open whole new doors, and you might have a whole new load of people that don't want to fight him at that weight as well.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, that was the reason. We didn't really have. You know, people say, "Well, just move up and fight super middleweight." But you know, if Chavez doesn't take the fight, if Froch doesn't take the fight, you know, Andre was he was in litigation for 2 years, so that wasn't realistic at the time. So, but now I think you'll see a lot of doors opening. We're in discussions for his next fight, and I think everyone will be pleasantly surprised if we can pull it off about who his next opponent will be.
Really?
Yeah.
Any inkling?
Can't reveal that, but it's there's a reason why he's only going to fight one more time this year instead of twice. It's just you know, he's at the point where we need to, you know, force some type of a bigger fight. You know, he's the mandatory for Cotto, and Cotto again, you know, he asked for the exception to actually has to have our permission to fight Canelo, and it looks like that fight will definitely happen, and we're just finalizing the ruling from the WBC so that the winner has to fight Gennady. So definitely there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just taken a long time to get to the point where he's at, but he's had 8 appearances on HBO in the States. I know he's popular in the UK, you know, with his fights with Macklin and Martin Murray. It's good to see Martin doing great in the UK. You know, Eddie's doing a good job keeping him busy and moving up to 168. So you know, that's exciting. And Martin's a stand-up guy. You know, so we wish him all the best. And that was a tough fight. You know, there's not a lot of people that, you know, we actually sought out the Murray challenge. You know, in Monte Carlo, he has issues, you know, getting the visa for the United States. So we put that in Monte Carlo, and it was a tremendous fight, really worldwide event. And you know, people in the States, they still kind of discount that. I mean, Martin was probably the best middleweight out there besides the champions, and you know, arguably he beat Sturm, and arguably he beat Sergio Martinez, and for Gennady to actually seek out that type of challenge, it really says a lot for his character.
Do you know what month Gennady will fight him?
Looking at October. Vladimir's fighting October 24th, so October's going to be a busy month for us, and it's probably going to be October in the States for Gennady's next fight.
All right, Tom. Well, listen, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV.
Right,
we look forward to returning here.
Always good to see you.
24th of October.
See you in Germany this time.
Germany, absolutely. And we'll hopefully catch up with you soon anyway, leading up.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Cheers, mate.